So, what on earth could a 12th century warrior sultan teach a 21st century CEO? Well, you'd be surprised. We're about to dive into how the exact principles that built a legendary reputation almost 1,000 years ago are the same ones driving success in today's boardroom.
All right, first things first, let's bring this right into our world today. And I'm not just talking about, good PR. We're talking about money, real, tangible value. A company's reputation, it's now one of its biggest financial assets, period.
Just look at this number 30%. A recent 2024 report from Echo Research found that a full 30% of a company's market value is tied directly to its reputation. I mean, that's huge. This isn't some fluffy, feel-good metric anymore. It's a fundamental part of a company's financial DNA.
Okay, so why the big deal right now? Well, think about the world we live in. It's volatile, right? A strong reputation, it's like a beacon of stability. It tells investors, hey, we can handle what's coming. It's become this crucial shield against all that uncertainty.
And this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing either. Just look at this breakdown. For industries like energy and healthcare, we're talking about 40% of their value. But for the tech giants, the Nvidias and Apples of the world, it can be close to half their entire market cap. Wow. Then you've got others, like telecoms, where it's a bit less. It really all comes down to how much that industry relies on public trust. So that brings us to the million-dollar question, or I guess the trillion-dollar question. If a reputation is that valuable, how in the world do you actually build a legendary one? And maybe even more important, how do you protect it? To find the answer, we're actually going to leave the spreadsheets and the stock tickers behind for a minute. We need to go back, way back, to a leader who crafted a reputation so powerful, people are still talking about it centuries later. Yeah, the Crusades. I know, it sounds like this brutal, far-off time. And it was. But out of that chaos came a leader with this incredibly modern approach to power. He managed to earn the respect of his own people, sure, but also his mortal enemies. And here he is. Meet Saladin. He started as a Kurdish warrior and rose to become the first sultan of Egypt and Syria. His biggest claim to fame? Well, he's the man who led the campaign to retake Jerusalem from the Crusaders. But here's the thing. What made him a legend wasn't just that he was a brilliant general. It was his character. In an era that was just savage, he was known for his generosity, his sense of justice, his honor. I mean, these were things you just did not see in a conqueror back then. So the real question is, how did he pull it off? Let's actually break down his leadership playbook. And I think you're going to be surprised at how relevant these ideas still are today. Okay, so his whole strategy was built on these 5 core ideas. It was never just about military victory. It was about thinking long-term, being strong but also compassionate, being a master diplomat, leading with real integrity, and being incredibly resilient. Let me give you a couple of real-world examples. All right, first up, strategic patience. Saladin didn't just charge in. No way. He spent more than a decade just building alliances, uniting all these different Muslim groups. He knew he couldn't win without a unified front. He was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers, the ultimate long game. Then there's compassion. And this story is maybe the most famous one about him. See, when the Crusaders had first captured Jerusalem, they slaughtered everyone. But when Saladin recaptured the city, he did the exact opposite. He showed mercy. He let the Christian residents buy their freedom or just leave safely. That one act right there defined his reputation for honor for the rest of history. Okay, this next one is just incredible. His biggest rival was King Richard the Lionheart of England. They were sworn enemies, fighting to the death. But there was this mutual respect. At one point, Richard gets really sick with a fever. And what does Saladin do? He sends his enemy fresh fruit, snow to cool his fever, and his own personal doctor. I mean, come on. That's just a masterclass in diplomacy. Okay, so how does all this crusades and chivalry connect to the boardroom today? Well, let's bridge that 900-year gap, because the parallels are actually kind of shocking. Think about it. Saladin's biggest headache was getting all these warring factions to work together. Sound familiar? That's exactly what a modern CEO does. You've got investors screaming for profits, employees who want meaningful work, and customers who demand value. It's the same balancing act. Saladin knew that his reputation for honor was a weapon, just as powerful as his army. Fast forward to today, companies are navigating this minefield of global competition and political risk. And the ones who win, they're the ones who build that same reputation for integrity. They prove they can be trusted. And that leads us to a really modern issue, ESG. Environmental, social, and governance. Saladin's ethics were real. He lived them. He didn't just talk about them. Today, investors are getting so tired of companies that treat ESG like a checklist. They want to see real action, not just a shining report. Authenticity is everything.
And believe me, the cost of faking it is huge. That same report found that just this year, reputational damage cost major companies £4.6 billion. When your reputation takes a hit, your wallet takes a hit. It's that simple. Okay, so let's boil all this down. What can we actually do with this? Let's take Saladin's ancient wisdom and turn it into a practical playbook for right now.
It comes down to 4 key things. 1, lead by example. Humility and discipline build a kind of loyalty that you can't buy. 2, make diplomacy a strength. Negotiation isn't weakness, it's power. 3, play the long game. Stop chasing short-term wins. And 4, be resilient. When things go wrong, stay calm and adapt. Don't panic.
Look, if you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. A reputation built on fear or force, it's fragile, it won't last. But a reputation built on genuine respect and integrity, that is an asset that will stand the test of time. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Is your reputation being built by design, with a strategy, like Saladin's, or is it just kind of happening by accident? Because in today's world, only one of those paths leads anywhere near legendary.